Miami. Welcome race fans, one and all, back to Green Flag TV, where tonight we get set to go racing for race number 13 of the OMSRL Truck Series. This is of course, this beautiful 1.5-mile track in Homestead-Miami, and the second chase race of the season. My name is Ola Brempo, bringing you all the action here tonight on Green Flag TV. And boy, it is bound to be a wild one. Homestead-Miami Speedway has long been a track known for its good racing, progressively banked in the turns, going to make it so it's going to be a difficult track to pass on tonight, and 100 laps will be the distance for 150 miles of action around this track that has seen a lot of use throughout the closing stages, but of course has in more recent years perhaps been one of those race tracks that has seen a bit more action towards the opening starts of the season as well. You take a look at the point standings coming on over into racing action here tonight, where Spencer Ray still sits on the top with that race win at North Wilkesboro Speedway, sitting 13 points clear of Brandon Kluge. Robert Peterson sits in third with Bear Morton down in fourth. Second to fourth, separated by only 3 points. So right now, it is a tight fight for that second spot, but they've got to do something to slow down Spencer Ray at the top if they want to get around the All-American Motorsports driver. Noah Rainwater, still the lone driver who has not put himself up on the boards, but he is present tonight, so he'll finally get some points into the chase, but it'll be a long shot for that 05 machine to be able to fight his way into contention for a championship here this afternoon. No wild card spots were taken out of the last race, and a reminder about the wild card rule, how that works. Any non-chase drivers that win a race will be added into the chase field, with their points from the chase race being added onto the 2,000 point reset. That includes any races they had run before their race win as well. With Spencer Ray, though, taking the first win of the chase just last week, it is not going to be any further additions to the chase field. We remain with just the initial top 10 in the points that had just been reset. Qualifying is currently underway as it stands from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. And among those drivers is Brandon Kluge, working his way around the top side of the racetrack in 3 and 4. Let's take a ride on board the 69 truck as it takes you for a couple laps around Miami. And Kluge will put himself into the outside wall to invalidate his second lap, but his first lap was good enough for third place, so good show for him. Keith Handlin right now on his opening flying lap, see what he can make out of himself with the TK Paints machine, as he'll work down the low side of 3 and 4 instead of taking that one up to the top. So Handlin firing down the front stretch and across the stripe. Lap number 1 will put him into only a 12th place at the moment in the books. So not the run that the driver out of Apex, North Carolina is hoping for, and I believe he may have just scraped the wall there in turn 1 as well, but still pushing hard. Hitting speeds in excess of 175 miles an hour down the straight before he dives it back down and into turns 3 and 4. And not anticipating anything too spectacular out of this secondary lap, because he is taking that inside line and is known to be that little bit slower. Crossing the line, only good enough for 10th. So he will start outside on row number 2, and with that will wrap up qualifying as everything is going to come to a close. So I think with that all said and done, it is high time that we take a rundown of what your official starting grid is going to look like here this afternoon. So let's get to it. Started on the pole, Spencer Ray for All-American Motorsports alongside Robert Peterson. Brandon Kluge for HW Racing will be in that number 3 position with Sean Kaiser in 4th. Nathan Shiplet starts in 5th place with Otto Colgan in 6th. Devin Purcell is 7th. Brent Vandehey is in 8th. Zachary Kreischer starts in the number 9 position alongside Keith Handlin in 10th. Gage Teff sits at 11th with Maxwell Kroll in 12th. Noah Swafford is 13th. Brent Rucker 14th. Justin Wilson brings up the rear of the field in 15th with Jacob Noyes and Jason Layton to close out the pack. So that is it then. All drivers are getting set to grid up and get ready to go racing for what should be some exciting racing action from Homestead-Miami Speedway. 100 laps, so it's going to be a quick race and one that could fly by in a hurry. Just waiting now on Brett Rucker and Jason Layton to both grid on up. So while we are waiting on those final two drivers to make their way out and on to the racetrack, let's take a rundown of some of the upcoming shows here on Green Flag TV. The Speed Tires Plus Cup Series will swing on out to the biggest, baddest track on the NASCAR circuit on Thursday night for a race around the Talladega Super Speedway. The Classic IndyCar Series will see race number 3 from the Long Beach Street Circuit. That'll be at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday morning. And then possibly later in the evening, the SR Next Gen Cup Series on Sunday night will tentatively be at 7:25 p.m. Eastern Time from the USA International Speedway. Of course, the TGG IL Truck Series, once again, they do have a scheduled race as always on Saturday night, but due to some scheduling conflicts, we will be doing that race live to tape for the Saturday Night Truck Series, and that will be released at some point, aiming for Tuesday, if not Wednesday, on Green Flag TV. Spencer Ray with that pole position. He'll take this field down the back straightaway. Won the first race in dominant fashion, was able to just pull away an absolutely monumental gap at one point, up to 9 seconds between first and second place. And starting on the pole here tonight. So for Ray, this is about the best possible way he could have hoped to kick off the chase. And he's hoping to see if he can go 2 for 2 in the chase races here this evening. As always, we are happy that you are joining us here on this absolutely beautiful Tuesday night from Homestead-Miami Speedway. It's go, go, go! Spencer Ray leads the first lap to green, already building up a quarter-second gap further behind. We are side by side for second on back as the rest of the field continuing to absolutely go full send and make these moves happen. Ray leading the way. McColgan trying to see if he can secure fourth. We got one driver dropping back as Keith Handlin and I believe that is the 28 of the, thought that was Nathaniel Ames, though that is Zachary Kreiser. That's ultimate turned around on the back straightaway. We will not get a yellow flag. Okay, well, we will get a yellow flag. A little late to the call, though. It looked like it was a pretty heavy impact into that inside wall to boot. And noticing, I believe, Noah Rainwater potentially backing out from racing action here this afternoon. I saw him on the practice roster, but not anymore here tonight. So that's not good news for him. But we'll get a look at what happened to Zachary Kreiser here as this was coming down the back straightaway. Just got hooked by Handlin. And the real tree machine spinning way down to the inside, pounding that inside wall in a big way. Spinning both himself and Handlin back out onto the racetrack. Get a look at speed. Looking like a bump draft gone wrong potentially. Goodness gracious, that is a hit. Kreiser down to the inside. On board. And we'll jump back a little bit further to get a look on board with Keith Handlin's machine and see what he had to do with all of this. Kreiser puts up in front, and yeah, bump trap gone wrong. I think that's all on Handlin as they spin to the bottom and they both take some pretty hefty licks. So Caution flag number 1 on just the second lap of this race, technically the third. A few drivers coming into pit road. Sean Kaiser, Noah Swafford, and Brett Rucker are among them. Seeing Hanlon and Kreischer in pit road is of no surprise. We were expecting them to come down into pit road. Kreischer is already out and back on the racetrack, trying to see if he can remain on the lead lap, and it looks like he is trying to see if he can get some of that damage repaired on that number 39. They put a new nose on the front of that truck. You still see how sheared off that right side is, as well as the deck lid bent up on the back bumper as well, which is not going to do him any favors aerodynamically. So he's got to hope that he can get some of this damage repaired here under caution in quick order. Keith Hanlon is still in pit road as well. He's been to the pits for about the last 40 seconds, also trying to get damage repairs. And they're trying to see how much they can get fixed without losing a lap. Of course, that's the big concern, is trying to remain on the lead lap when you're in a race like this, especially this early on. You never know when you're going to get that long green flag run. It's not something you want to take a chance on. There's the pace truck coming off of turn numbers 3 and 4. And they're going to see both Kreischer and Hanlon making their way out of the pits. And the lights will go out, so they'll catch up to the tail end of the racing line. It will be green flag racing this time by. Drivers that are currently in the chase, you can see them identified by the red gradients on the vertical timing tower, as well as the red blocks on the horizontal ticker when that is flashed up. It's a very easy way to distinguish who's who. Spencer Ray, your points leader, remaining out in front, although this time he's got a new driver to his outside, Austin McColgan, who made up already 4 positions just those opening 2 laps. It's not as much, though, as Jacob Noyes, who's already put his Inconsistency Racing Chevy Silverado for PepsiCo up 6 spots on the afternoon. We'll restart this race on lap number 7 after an early caution takes out Keith Hanlon and Zachary Kreischer. They are back on the racetrack. Green flags out. We are back underway. Focusing up on the battle for a second on back as initial second place starter Robert Peterson looking to take that spot back, and he will do just that as they work the front straightaway. Behind McColgan and Kluge. Whoa, look out, McColgan in the wall. Scraping along the outside wall of turn 1. That'll cost him to drop at least a 5th, possibly more. He will manage to battle back, though, to try to battle around Stefan Purcell. Purcell down low. And McColgan tracking loose, bobbling from the top shelf. Can he hang on? He sure does, but only just. Brett Vandehey, Gage Teft, Jacob Noyes all over the inside as McColgan is struggling right now to keep that truck underneath him. He is now down to 8th and trying to go 3 wide around the outside of Teft and Noyes. 3 abreast on the back straightaway is always a bold call. And it'll be Noyes who will bow out from the inside with the lack of momentum. Again, a little scrape to that outside wall. Meanwhile, Gage Teft trying to attack Brett Vandehey down to the turn 1. Baldwin scrapes the wall again, entering turn 1. Battle on for 5th, though, as Teft trying to find some way to get around Vandehey down from the bottom. Number 33, Silverado, looking like he might not be able to get there, I don't think, as Vandehey driving this one around the outside. How about Jacob Noyes making it 3 wide down to turn 1? If you wanted racing action, you got it at Miami. As Noyes will go 2 for 2. Oh, now he's loose. Look out. Bobbling sideways and now 3 wide again on the bottom. Thought he had it, but not quite. A lot of huge action going on here at the back of the mid-pack here, right on the cusp of the top 5. Vanderhay struggling to hang on to that top 5 position. With Noyes showing he is not about to be denied down on the bottom. And this time, the PepsiCo machine will clear from Vanderhay. He's just now got to be sure that he doesn't lose it off of turn 4 like he did the last time. Put Jacob Noyes up to 5th. Further behind, Vanderhay going more. All dropping back. Vanderhay now, one to scrape the outside wall as Austin McColgan trying to hug that one down low, and he's going to track up and nowhere for Vanderhay to go. McColgan driving around the outside, Vanderhay down the bottom, and there goes Sean Kaiser as well as Nathan Shiflett trying to get in there as well. And now to the inside goes Teft. Teft shooting from the bottom. Looking to pick up the spot while Kaiser and Vanderhay continue to scrap it out. Racing action so far has been nothing short of incredible. Teft and Kaiser clear simultaneously, and whoa, look at the block! Vanderhay having Sean Kaiser cut across the nose and nearly wiped him out coming down to turn 3. Take a ride on board with Vanderhay here. He's coming through turn 1. And watch Kaiser clear up the block. He tries to go back over under. That's a late block, and there was contact. That easily could have been disastrous. And noting that Justin Wilson has slowed dramatically, he's dropped several positions as well. We'll get a look on what happened to Justin Wilson. Oh, loses the back end, slides out of 4. Down to the inside, tags the inside wall, but no caution. Battle on for the number 2 spot up the road. Brandon Clues taking the inside of Robert Peterson. They'll take away that second spot down the back chute. Clues down low, the Ford Motograph F-150. Thought he could try to go for an over-under in 3 and 4. Wasn't going to happen, though. All the while, he got the battle for 4th. Now Stephen Purcell taking the runner-up spot last week at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Trying to keep Jacob Noyes at bay as Noyes is on a tear right now. Noyes up to 4th, and the driver is racing number 3, now up 12 positions, by far the hard charger of the afternoon. Oh, and behind McColgan and Vanderhay getting a little tight. Having that coming together. There you see McColgan looking to drive around the top shelf. And again, a poke back in line. So right now, first through third have got about 1.75 seconds on each other. Meanwhile, 5th through 10th have less than that. Really going to show just how competitive the midfield has been so far this afternoon. Gage tap to the inside of Andahay. Outside, Taft inside, Andahay kind of weaving around the middle, trying to find a way through. Will not do it on the back straightaway. Already over a fifth of the way through. 21 laps down, 79 to go. I told you the race tonight was going to absolutely fly by us, and boy, it sure has. The next thing that's going to be on a lot of these drivers' mind is, of course, pit stops. When do you try to come down into pit road? Not expecting anybody in too soon here. Well, we might get them in pretty soon there, though, if they take each other out, like Edge Taft almost wiped out McColgan there on the back straightaway. Initially on a charge, and has ever since the restart slid back. You did start in the top 5. Now, though, he's mired to the back half of the top 10. And as of yet been unable to make that push to the front. Oh, into the outside wall goes Tafton. Oh boy, a huge bobble coming off of turn 2. Nearly a disastrous moment there on the back straightaway. Whoa, and we'll get it there. Around goes McColgan, slammed by Kreischer. Here comes the field, and oh no! Huge hit for Brett Rucker. That was a horrendous ride. As McColgan got T-boned right in the driver's side door. Gosh, that is a violent impact. We'll take a look back as Austin McColgan in 3 and 4 just got loose. Stepped it out all by himself. Kreischer was left with nowhere to go. Drilled him in the left rear, sent him pirouetting down the front stretch. And then Rucker with the full head of steam. Just out of nowhere. That was massive. Take a ride on board with Rucker here. And I mean, he can see McColgan, and he just never lifted. I'm sorry, there is no excuse for that. That is bad. He never lifted, never even tried. On board with McColgan. And then one more with Kreischer. My apologies. It was a completely different car. That was Nathan Shiflett that took him out. I thought that was Zachary Kreischer. My apologies. On board with Shiflett. Now, Shiflett really did have nowhere to go there. I mean, that spun right in front of him. A good chunk of the field, meanwhile, coming down into pit road, and Ray, with a slow stop, over half a second down on Kluge, will lose out. Brandon Kluge, your new race leader. A tremendous impact for caution number 2. We'll be back in a moment on Green Flag TV.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Green Flag TV. You're taking one final look at the replay with Osman Colgan's huge crash on the front straightaway that puts us under the second yellow flag of the evening and the absolutely tremendous impact that he took with Brent Rucker. We are about to go back to Green Flag Racing as the pace truck will lead the field off of 3 and 4. Pulls down into pit road. Brandon Cluj, now your leader. After coming down to pit road, green flag is out. We are back underway. Spencer Ray trying to make an early charge in the lead, get around Robert Peterson up on the outside. But Peterson will clear up for the number 2 spot. Ray back down to the inside. See if he can stick it in there on the fresh tires here before they fall away. Doesn't help though, the rest of the pack is also on fresh Goodyears. So a three-way battle for the lead between Cluj, Ray, and Peterson. And right now, Peterson is boxing Ray in, leaving him with nowhere to go. Oh, but now it's Cluj's turn to have a little bit of a wobble. Spencer Ray, though, can't attack down to turn 3. He tried for it, but just couldn't get there. Pushing for the bottom, 3 wide for the lead. Whoa, Ray with a huge wiggle. Nearly taking out the 69. Cluj, Peterson, and Ray all looking set to try and duke it out. Again, a huge wiggle from Ray, and again from Noise behind as well. Robert Peterson now trying to attack Cluj around the outside for the top spot. Ray sticking his nose in on the inside of the 97, trying to keep Robert Peterson at bay. And Cluj doing a phenomenal job at holding off both of these drivers. Really controlling both lanes right now. That HWR Rogue Energy Pavilion machine. Oh man, here we go! 3 by 3 as they work the front stretch down to turn number 1. And Ray will go 2 for 2. He's back to the point just like that. And Robert Peterson now trying to attack. Ray blocks! Huge block to the inside. Forces Robert Peterson to try to go the long way around 3 and 4. He's got the nose in. Wild battle for the lead. You'd think it's the final lap. And Robert Peterson still seeing he can just hang on. Couldn't get him around the outside. He'll look to the inside. Dives down to the bottom. Isn't enough to make a move. Not quite. Spencer Ray leads one more lap, but Robert Peterson not giving up the fight. First back down to the inside line. Spencer Ray still working up the top. Brandon Kalush sitting behind these two drivers. He is saving some of those tires. He's biding his time, waiting for them to drop off. There goes Peterson, stepping the back end out. That'll cause a change in hands for second. And Kalush immediately with the attack down the bottom of Ray. Top five dominated by chase drivers right now. Nobody wants to let Spencer Ray take another win. But I think finally Ray has got himself clear for the lead. On board with Brett Vanderhay. In what was the battle for fifth there, as he'll tuck back in line with Nathan Shiflett and try again down the inside of the 53. Whoa, a bit of contact there. As they nearly turn each other on that back chute. Vanderhay back down to the bottom, seeing if he can't keep Shiflett pinned on the outside. Bit of a wiggle there for the 15 off of 4. Vanderhay still scrapping that one way down to the bottom lane. Vanderhay will clear for fifth. And whoa! Another three-way battle as Sean Kaiser almost took that one onto the apron. Trying to get around Keith Handlin and Jacob Noyes, and Handlin will back out from the middle groove as Noyes driving that one way around the top, coming off of 4, or off of 2, sorry. And he will clear from the 24 machine. See just how loose these trucks, though, are as they work off of these corners. I mean, they are not beasts that like to be wrangled, it would seem. Feels like they are driving on an absolute knife edge right about now. But looking like for really the first time all night long, we will finally get ourselves a little bit more composed and settle in for the long haul. And Spencer Ray still pulling around the top lane. Dive back in as he continues to try to pull out that gap, but it still hovers around 4 seconds behind. Battle for 4 looking like it was about to pick up as Vanderhay tried to attack down the inside of Gate 10, but just never got even close to making a run happen. And problems for Shiflett as having a momentary flash. Oh, hard into the outside wall goes Noyes. Big hit into the fence in turn 2. No caution. That was a violent impact, though, that he just took, and he is still scraping along the outside, trying to keep it out of everyone else. And you see Swafford and Wilson flashing by on the bottom, making it 3 wide for a moment. Golly, that was big. Take a look back on Jacob Noyes. This is coming down into turn 1 and 2. Just got loose and knocked the whole right front off that machine. see a lot of battles still going on. This is Swapper, Wilson, and Kreischer all duking it out, while Jacob Noyes has found his way coming down into pit road. The driver of the 3 will be into the pits. So Vandehey and Shiflett still run line astern as well. Well, right now the big side-by-side battle is the 12 through 14, then Price just got into the outside wall, leaving it a 2-horse race. Swafford inside of Wilson. Can he hang on? Oh, they both get a little twitchy there in 3 and 4. And that will give it up for Wilson. This little fighting between Tev Vandehey and Shiflett is really the one to watch. Vandehey, remember, he is not a chase driver. Really being the cork in the bottle for a few of these guys like Shiflett and Kaiser trying to score some good points. But Vandehey also seeing if he can chase a race win to see if he can potentially get himself back into chase competition. As one of, right now, the 3 remaining wildcard spots. Teft onto the outside as Vandehey trying to attack down low. And if he can make that happen, then this could be a big move, but Teft will be able to drive that one back around the top and pick off the 53 and keep that spot in hand. Got Purcell and McColgan as well that just exchanged hands. That was for 10th in 1 and 2. There goes Vandehey once again, charging to the inside. And this time he might have him. Or maybe not. Tev with a huge lunge around the outside. Takes the spot back, down the back straightaway. Take a look from the spotter stand as there you see Vandehey really struggling. Down to that inside line and just behind Nathan Shiflett is driving through. It is so difficult to make a move around the inside line at Homestead with how powerful that outside line is. I mean, you see the differences in lanes they're running here. And look at the speed differential off the corner. I mean, look at how much Teft is just able to pull on Vandehey. It's no contest, frankly. Vandehey trying all he likes, but he just cannot get the nose to stick down to the bottom lane. And he's not the only one either, it's just behind. Kaiser, Handlin, and Shiflett all still tucked up line of stern as well. Teft and Vandehey working to the inside again as as Vandehey trying to see if he can get that drive up around Gage Teft, and oh boy, tried to clear across the nose. Teft's still in there, almost had him, but Vandehey charging deep into turn numbers 3 and 4. Track it up. Watch the closing rate here from Teft. Teff getting back to the back bumper and will not make the move. Van de Hey finally fights his way to fourth. Just the time to kick off the second half of this race as well. We are over 50 laps deep into the 100 lap race here tonight. Sean Kaiser trying to look around the outside of Hamlin as they work off a 3 and 4 to the front straightaway. And the 7th place runner not able to attack Hamlin yet. Titanic battle really for third all the way back to 7th, which is why they've spent so much time focused up on these groupings. If you want to see some of the other groupings he got on the racetrack, you've got Stefan Purcell right now and Austin McColgan. You've got Wilson, Kaiser, and Swafford that are all still packed up line astern. And then this is the battle for the lead right now between Brandon Kluge and Spencer Ray, sitting 0.7 of a second apart. And it's a gap that Ray has been very slowly building up over the last while. Kluge has not been able to run this gap back down, but still a long race. If a caution comes out, Kluge has shown he has the potential to jump Spencer Ray in the pit stops. That's how he got the lead early on in this race. Guy's making an easy pass on Keith Hamlin here. I wonder why. Well, that explains why. And his Hamlin got loose and Dort checked the 24 on the front stretch. Van de Hey and Peterson continuing on. And the question still remains, where do pit stops come from? Here are the stints. It's the longest green flag run we've had so far all night long. About 28 laps and counting. Anticipated these guys can go about 40 to 50 on one tank. So they should be coming back down to pit road before too long here. In the meantime, it gives us all of these really thrilling battles to watch. As Van de Hey tries to work around the outside of Robert Peterson. Side-by-side battle further behind. This is for 10th. McColgan finally trying to see if he can stop the bleeding, and he might just, as Stefan Purcell will be the first driver to blink and come down pit road. So Purcell, the first driver in. Meanwhile, Gage Teff to Sean Kaiser, side by side for 5th. Kaiser to the inside. Gage Teff trying to lunge back around the top. And he's got the nose in. Can Gage Teff mount a defensive here? Justin Wilson and Austin McColgan both pit in from 12th and 13th respectively. And Teff can't hang on. Kaiser gets through. Now does race leader Spencer Ray pit in this time? If I'm Brandon Kluge, I'm now thinking possibility of an undercut. Trying to get by him and then have him burn up all of his stuff, trying to get back around you. It's a difficult track to pass when you get up to speed. And those tires start to weather in, so we'll see what he does here on the strategy game. 40 to go at the line. There goes Jacob Noyes. Noyes, of course, a lap down. Having pitted on lap 42. Off cycle compared to everybody else in this field. And that's why we see him blitzing through this little pack. He is still technically on about 20 lap loaded tires, even if they have been weathered in somewhat. How about Maxwell Kroll and Nathan Shiflett? Exchanging blows for 8th and 9th as they work off of 2 to the back straightaway. No drivers in that top group coming into pit road yet. But again, you know it is not ever too far away. Kroll and Shiflett continue to duke it out. And Gage Taft will be the first one in that big pack to hit the pits. Now at this point, 37 laps, you got about 37 to go. You are good to go to the end of the race from here. So this will get Gage Taft into pit road and to the end of the race, and he should be able to make up some spots because of how early he's coming in on the field. You see race leader Spencer Ray, oh boy, with a big power slide. Meanwhile, Brandon Kluge will try to go for the undercut on the 6. So your second place runner coming into pit road. Van de Hey also in. So one by one, drivers steadily making their way to the pit road. Here comes your race leader. Pulling up the track map, Brandon Kluge in gray, Spencer Ray highlighted in green. This is the battle for the net race lead. Kluge entering turn number 3 on the back straightaway while Spencer Ray still sitting in his pit box, but it's a long way to get around, especially with the gap that was between them. Kluge off of 4. Ray still changing left sides. He's out of pit road. Kluge at start finish. This might get tight here coming down onto the back straightaway. There's Kluge making the run into turn numbers 1 and 2. Can he jump Ray for the net race lead? Off of turn 2, just gets there. Kluge to the net race lead by just a few car lengths. This will be an interesting fight to see how Spencer Ray is able to battle back to him. While other drivers still have got position, they're scrapping from behind like Purcell, Van de Hey, McColgan, and more. More drivers still coming down to pit road. We're still waiting on Swafford and Kreischer to pit as well. And then we will be good to go to the end. There's Robert Peterson, the former second place runner, exiting in P8. That's about net P6. Gets up to speed just in time to battle it out with Stefan Purcell. Swafford will come into pit road and go in and jump back a little bit more. Take a look as this was the battle for the net race lead. There's Spencer Ray trying to see if he can get up to speed and time out of pit road here. But there's Brandon Kluge. And right about there was the pass. Kluge getting around Ray and now sits there by only a 1/10 of a second, because here comes Ray trying to battle around the outside. This will turn into the battle for the race lead once Kreiser comes down to pit road. And Ray, around the outside, takes it in style. Ray back to the point. Ray starting to build out that gap now, although Brandon Clue's doing his darndest to try and reel him in. So tell you what, while these drivers continue to battle it out amongst themselves, we're going to take ourselves with a step back. It's been a crazy race so far and still a long way to go. 30 laps to go. You're watching the OMSRL Truck Series on Green Flag TV. Still under green flag conditions here from Homestead-Miami Speedway. You're watching the battle for 8th between Stephen Purcell and Austin McColgan. Starting to get a little bit tight as we are within the final quarter of this race. Less than 25 laps to go. We have been green flagged since just shy of lap 30. Darn near half the race at this point in time after a couple of cautions in the early going. One of which involved McColgan spinning around and taking some absolutely monster hits from Brett Rucker and Zachary Croucher, which sees both those trucks a lap down. Field pretty evenly spread all throughout. Spencer Ray building up that gap of Brandon Kluge. It is now up to 0.8 of a second once again. Brett Van Ayen a bit of no man's land with Gage Taft about a second and a quarter behind. And Taft in a bit of a loose three-way fight right now between Robert Peterson and Sean Kaiser as well for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Then you've got Keith Handel also into no man's land. And then, of course, Purcell in that battle with McColgan and Shiflett. That's now going side by side as Shiflett takes it down low of McColgan into turn 1. Shiflett goes from bottom to top. Whoa, Purcell loose off 2. Here comes Shiflett with a drive. Gunning it around the outside while Purcell is down low. And oh boy, Shiflett tried to make that look and almost turned the 15 as they got through 3 and 4. Shiflett gets by the lot of them. He's got the fresher tires too by about 7-8 laps from these two drivers behind. Purcell and McColgan. 9th and 10th. The battle remained between the both of them as Shiflett drives away with 8th. Coming up on Green Flag TV, the Speed Tires Plus Cup Series at the Talladega Super Speedway will be at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time. And for live shows, the Classic IndyCar Series will be at the Long Beach Street Circuit for race number 3 at 2 o'clock p.m. with the ASRL Next Gen Cup Series for race number 11 at the USA International Speedway. Taking place on, tentatively on Sunday night at 7:25 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll see if that'll also be tape delayed as the TNGG IL Truck Series race will be this weekend. But for now, looking like that will still be a live show that may very well go ahead. Maxwell Kroll seeing if he can't try to find an attack down the inside. Kroll again on fresher tires than both of these two drivers, slowly but surely making his way up through the field. And up the road for 4th, Robert Peterson down the inside of Gage Taft. So another battle on this one for 4th place. Robert Peterson taking that one down low as Taft swings way up to the outside. And oh boy, a big crossover there from Taft coming off of turn 4. And again, nearly thought they would hook together. Not quite, though. Oh, caution as Purcell into the outside wall in 4. Caution is out on the speedway as the 57 will lose a lap. So the battle for 9th place falls apart, and here's why. Finding it out with Austin McColgan as Maxwell Kroll went down the bottom of the both of them, and oh boy, that'll be a tough one to determine if anybody was at fault for that. And that's a hard hit into the outside wall for Purcell as well. He slid to a stop, but that's what forced the caution. At speed. Actually, I think McColgan got down onto the apron, and that's what caused this on board. Oh yeah, I think that was a bit of a lunge there for McColgan to turn Purcell into the wall. And this is on board with Purcell himself. nowhere. It's a hard lick into the outside wall. McColgan was not going to make that corner. He was a bit desperate to try to make that pass after Maxwell Kroll got through. What this does, though, is this will take everybody into pit road, and this annihilates the gap that Spencer Ray had built up. Kreiger, interestingly enough, staying out, and that might be to get the Lucky Dog free pass. I believe that is to get the Lucky Dog free pass. Brandon Kluge trying to beat Ray on pit road, and he does! Kluge getting out of pit road ahead of Spencer Ray. That is big. This happened under the first caution as well. Or the second caution, excuse me, where where Kluge gapped Spencer Ray, and it was the same thing. Half a second better in the box, and that's the difference. A second and a half shaved off of Kluge's pit road time just for being more aggressive getting in and out of the box. Took him right on board with Brandon Kluge here as he pulls into his pit stall. Absolutely nailed pit entry, and then you see these trucks going up on the right sides first and then over to the left. You hear them already revving up that engine, ready to go. Oh, you know what did it? Ray spun the tires. Kluge never did. Take another look back, a little bit closer at this one. See, Kluge kind of locked it down, getting into the pits there. And then spinning up the tires, and just a bit more aggressive than Ray on the exit is going to give him that lead. Wow, that is incredible. Lights are out aboard the iRacing Pace Truck. We will restart this race with just 11 laps to go. Kluge, Kreiger, who stayed out to take up the top spots as well as Kreiger's up onto the outside, both in front of Spencer Ray and Robert Peterson. This is going to be a wild restart. Green flag drops. We are back underway. $11 laps to go. Kluge, see if he can hang on. Zachary Kreiger will bail to the top shelf. Whoa, oh no! Peterson! Look out as the 97 spins it out. One of the big contenders down and out. And Kreiger still battled Spencer Ray. Kluge pulling the gap. Spencer Ray trying to see if he can pull around the 39. He's He's only got 10 laps to get around Brendan Clues. It's not a lot of time. And it took him a little bit the last time by his Vogue. He just battled it out with Robert Peterson, but this time Peterson lost control of him turn 2, trying to lunge around the outside of 3 and 4. Side by side for the lead with 9 laps to go. Brandon Clues doing whatever he can, but I think his favorite of that inside line is hurting him here. He needs to be favoring that top lane. That's where all the speed is. Gray, can he clear? Not into turn 3, he can't. They'll have to get him down to 1. Around the outside, Ray's clear. He's back to the lead. Eight laps remaining and looking for 3 wide, deeper in the pack with Vanderhay, Handlin, and Kreischer all going for it. Sean Kaiser down to the inside as well, not making it any easier. Oh, nearly coming together. Fast lap of the race set by Nathan Shiflett. He still has a chance to get this win, but they got to get around Clues first. Oh boy, and behind contact puts Zachary Kreischer down on the inside. 3 wide again, and the caution is out. Oh, and Teft losing the back end. Oh, and another huge hit as Swabber came flying in. Teft involved. Wilson, McColgan as well. Big trouble for the 4th caution of the night. What in the world happened here? Teft was side by side with Brendan Cluj. Entering turn 1 in the battle for second, and oh, just got hooked big time into the outside wall. Spins Gage Teft around, and then nowhere for Justin Wilson to go. Slides him down, McColgan came flying in, and then Noah Swabber just never stopped. Another messy incident at speed. That's a tough one to call. And a couple of hard licks as well. This will be on board with McColgan. Trying to slow down, just loses the back end and slides right into the path of the in-and-out machine. And oh, he also got sideswiped by Noah Swabber. And again, inexcusable here, I think, from Swabber because, I mean, the caution is out. You know there's a wreck. Trying to slow down, but I mean, too little, too late. I don't know where he thought he was going. On board with Brandon Cluj. It looked almost like Teft didn't turn in as much, but I mean, Cluj didn't exactly leave a whole lot of a chance on that outside line either. Golly, that's a hard impact. And then the mess that follows it. From the air, this will be a good indicator of, I don't think Teft turned in enough there. It's a big hit, and that will put us over the 5 to go mark. The really big question I think that a lot of us have now is, will this race go into overtime? There are 3 overtime attempts. But whether or not this is going to be a state of factor is something else entirely. As well, we'll try to get this rolling here. So, if we go 1 to green, we will keep this race under regulation time. It'll be a nat green-white check with a 2-lap dash to the end. If we go 1 more lap, it will be overtime. Spencer Ray trying to go 2 for 2 in chase races. And at the line, 1 to green. Still under regulation if we can make it around to the white flag. Here we go, 2 laps to go. As Spencer Ray and Brandon Kluge looking to see who will survive the melee. Green flag is back out. Can anyone catch Spencer Ray? Taking this one down in the turn numbers 1 and 2. Seeing if he can find a way to get this one sorted by race's end. Here comes Shiflett to the inside. It is a race that is not yet over. And Shiflett seeing if he cannot go for his first race win of the season. White flag is out. Ray still hanging on. Shiflett trying to get back to him. 3/10 of a second. That's a long way to make up in half a lap. Can Spencer Ray dive this one in the turn numbers 3 and 4? He's going to go for it. Crashing in turn number 4. And off the final corner, Spencer Ray, 2 for 2 in the chase as he'll take Miami. Trouble for Brett Vandehey as he will slide to a stop. As they had trouble coming down to the turn numbers 3 and 4, and we'll get a better jump back to take a look at what happened there coming down into the corner as Vandehey looks like he got loose, tracked up, but just turned across the nose of Robert Peterson, put Keith Hamilton into the wall, and then spun around. And looking like a couple of trucks, including Zachary Kreischer and Maxwell Kroll, also getting involved in a big melee coming around the final few corners as they came to the stripe. And another crash as they came across the line. That was a hard hit for Kreischer into the inside as they took the checker. But Spencer Ray will burn it down to the front straightaway, taking 2 for 2 and extending his points lead. As Spencer Ray continues to burn it down to the front straightaway here. Let's take a run at the official post-race results from what was a wild one here tonight from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. It was Spencer Ray to take the win ahead of Nathan Shiflett. Brandon Kluge and Sean Kaiser making all playoff drivers in the top 4, with Keith Handlin breaking up the run in 5th. Robert Peterson and Jacob Noyes were 6th and 7th. Noah Swafford, Justin Wilson, and Stephen Purcell round out the top 10. Kreisman's in 11th, Kroll in 12th, McColgan, Vandehane, Teff, Rucker, and Layton will bring up the rest of the field, with Jason Layton not making a start here this afternoon. So that is it then. All parties across the line and race in action at a close. Let's see if we can't give a talk here, of course, to the driver that comes home on top of all the rest. It is going to be Spencer Ray, who will come up here to give us a chat here this afternoon, and after taking his 2nd win in the chase. And well, Spencer, you're 2 for 2. Looking like that championship is yours to lose.
I'd really rather you didn't say that. But yeah, that was fun. Thought Shiflett had me there for a second, getting into 3, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's another one of those races just like North Wilkesboro, right? You have an absolutely monumental lead over the field, and then, well, it falls apart as a caution the late race puts you at risk. Same as North Wilkesboro. What were the kind of the emotions that go through when that yellow flag comes out to put you at risk again?
Oh, I really didn't want to pit stop because I cannot get off a pit road. And that's what happened.
At the end of the day, you're able to come home. You did manage to re-overtake Brandon Kluge there in the closing stages, but next week it's the final short track race of the season, Richmond Raceway. Will we be seeing you going for the hat trick here in the chase?
I hope. I lobbied hard to get that on the schedule, so I better show up for it.
All right, well, we'll let you go then and let you go back to celebrating. We'll see you next week when we go racing in Virginia.
Yep.
Spencer Ray joining us up here from Victory Lane for the 2nd time in the chase. That'll take us down to the Nathan Shiflett, the driver that was able to come home with a number 2 finish with the number 15 car. Just coming up short tonight, although he was really giving Spencer a run for his money there in the closing stages. Nathan, walk us through that final green-white checkered there. Well, the Nat green-white checkered, that is.
Well, I honestly didn't know what to expect because I didn't practice tonight, so I was kind of didn't know how the draft was going to work and stuff, and race that race. But that last lap, I figured just go kind of balls to the wall and hopefully it'd stick. And I got underneath him and it just didn't stick. I had to let off, and he just got back by me.
Well, regardless, it's still a good points day for you, and I know it's a points day that you really needed after North Wilkesboro. But I mean, we come home today after DNFing from the last race. How do you reckon this is going to help your championship hopes?
Well, if I wasn't going to run good, I wasn't going to race anymore. So I guess I'm going to have to race Richmond now just to see how it goes, because I'm supposed to be heading to Delaware to see my teammate Zach. So I guess I'll run Richmond now. That was kind of like iffy. I was kind of done giving up hope after North Wilkesboro, but I guess I'm going to run Richmond now.
And, of course, the Richmond Raceway coming on up next. You're saying potentially going to run Richmond. You guess you were going to run Richmond. You weren't initially planning on it. What's going to be the game plan then for the action track?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, I always see my teammate Zach for the Dover race for the NASCAR Cup Series, so I always take Tuesday and Wednesday as a travel day. But I guess if I do good in points, I guess I need to run Richmond and see how that goes. And the game plan is I don't like Richmond, so I guess I need to start practicing. That's the game plan.
Well, sounds like a plan. We'll let you go then. Congratulations on taking number 2 tonight. We'll see how you fare in Virginia then next week.
All right. Thanks, bud.
Nathan Shiflett joining us up here in the broadcast booth, and that will take us to potentially Brandon Kluge. Yes, it will, as we do manage to track down our 3rd place finisher of the night. Brandon Kluge joins us up here next, and Brandon, it was a tough fight for you. You were up there near the front all night long. Walk us through it.
Yeah, my main goal was to just try to keep pace with Spencer, and I hit 20 laps into a run, and that's it. I knew he was going away, so I was just glad to. I was close to him the whole race, so that felt good.
Pit road seemed to be very critical for a lot of drivers tonight, and we saw you jump Spencer Ray for the lead not once but twice, and both times under caution. How'd you manage to get him out of the pit stops there?
I went really strong into the pit box, and then I gassed it super hard out. And I think that second caution, or second time, whatever, I think he spun the tires a little bit, so I was able to just barely edge him out that second time.
We look forward to race number 3 of the chase, Richmond Raceway, coming on up. You're looking like you've had yourself with a pretty solid points day so far. 2 third-place finishes throughout the chase. Do you reckon your championship hopes remain alive going into Richmond?
Realistically, no. Spencer's obviously, he's got it down. I think Richmond's going to be a really good track for him, just like Iowa. My main goal is to just keep doing what I'm doing, and the podiums are fun.
All right, well, we'll let you see if you can go for the hat trick of podiums next week, and hopefully maybe 1 or even 2 better when we go racing to Richmond next week. But for now, congratulations on taking the third-place finish tonight. We'll let you back to celebrating.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Brandon Clues joined us up here, 3rd place on the podium, and well, with that is going to be about all the time we're going to have for one night. It was a very wild night of racing action, as it so often is from the OMSRL Truck Series. Next week, it'll be down to the Richmond Raceway, but before that, the Speed Tires Plus Cup Series will swing on out to the Talladega Super Speedway. Don't forget to tune in on Saturday to the Long Beach Street Circuit for the Classic IndyCar Series at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday afternoon as well. But then, of course, after all of that, April 20th, you'll have the TNGGIL Truck Series, but that will be a delayed tape recording. Possibly the same for the ASRL Next Gen Cup Series later on Sunday night for USA International Speedway, but we'll keep you obviously posted on all of that. But for now, we're happy that you guys have joined us all here tonight. If you liked what you saw, be sure to like and subscribe. Check us out today at www.greenflagtv.com and find out who we are and what we can offer you. My name is Manola Rempel. Thank you for joining us for the OMSRL Truck Series on Green Flag TV. And we will see you all when we go racing. Next week, it'll be the action track from Virginia.